PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code CAJUN, all caps, CAJUN, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with another 10-minute mail day. You're going to get these on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, or Saturdays or Sundays, just depending on how many cards are coming into my PWCC vault. If you guys like the way that I collect, the way I share images, I am a vaulter, and I know there's pros and cons to that, and some people don't necessarily align with my specific manner of collecting, and that's absolutely fine. But if you're interested in learning more about the PWCC Vault, just hit me up. I am now an affiliate partner sponsor with PWCC. So if you go into my YouTube descriptions, there's a couple ways that you can get involved with PWCC, whether it be on the buying end under my affiliate link or on the selling end using my promotional code, which is CAJUN, CAJUN, all caps. There's a couple other ways you can support the channel. So check out the YouTube description in this video if you get a chance. All right, today's mail day. Believe it or not, I can't believe this. I started this channel, I'm not even, almost 20 months ago, not even 2 years ago, and I'm on mail day number 100. That's probably a bad thing if you ask my wife. It's a great thing if you're a collector and you like looking at cards coming into the vault. Today's mail day is going to be 100% Jordan. It's primarily going to be the cards. In fact, it's wholly only those cards that I picked up at the National in Rosemont. So you may have seen these in YouTube Shorts. You may have seen these posted on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, go check it out. It's Cajun Cardboard. It's real easy to find. You can't miss me. So I apologize if some of you guys have seen these cards before. This will be the first time you're seeing them in high-def images of front and back. And we're going to talk a little bit about the value and why I picked them up and how they fit into my collection and just kind of put the big picture together. I started doing these mail days almost as a way for me to by the way, stay tuned till the end because I did pick up a pretty big card. It's a couple pretty big cards, but one five-figure card. So stay tuned till the end. But I think people have kind of come along for the ride, and they like watching people just post cards that they collect. It's like no different than Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and it's just kind of how we learn in the hobby is watching what other people buy. I know I love watching other people's mail days as well, so I get it. So these mail days are starting to become more and more popular and getting more and more views. So hopefully I'm doing something right. If there's a way I can do it better, let me know. Another thing I do want to put out there is that I am not the foremost expert on collecting Michael Jordan cards. So in the event that I misspeak or I get something wrong, just politely tell me in the comments. I am not teacher and student. It's not that way. I am trying to figure this stuff out myself. As I mentioned over and over, there's people that have been collecting Jordans. There's people that have been collecting cards for 50 years. I've collected cards for about almost 40, well, right at a little over 40 years, but I've only been collecting Jordan 90 stuff since maybe 2020. So I don't have a ton of experience. I'm trying to synthesize as much information as possible. So by no means am I speaking from the pulpit here. I want to make that very, very clear. All right, let's get cranking. As usual, I've got a shareable PWCC link that I've created. Let's hit the slideshow. Card number one's a banger, man. It's a big time card. This was the card where I decided to cross the threshold. You guys know me. I'm usually PSA 10 or BGS 9.5 or nothing. But since I've started this Michael Jordan hierarchy project, which you guys have probably been watching if you're watching this mail day video, we're right smack in the middle of tier 4 of the Michael Jordan hierarchy project. I've started to come to grips with the fact that I'm going to have to collect cards in other grades. And so I picked up this 1997 Ultra Court Masters PSA 9. I think it's a beautiful card. It's a refractor-like card. The back of the card's badass. It's got that hardwood. It kind of reminds me of that the Nintendo game Double Dribble. That's just kind of what the floor looked like in the background. You can see the top of each of the keys, and then the hardwood floorboards. It's got Jordan in 2 images. Court Masters is printed in both directions. On the back of the card, more hardwood. And more MJ. And it says the Bulls trail. MJ brings the ball down the floor. What is he going to do? Find a way to win. Of course, Michael cannot sneak up on anybody. Everybody in the house knows what's up, particularly the 5 guys in the opposing team. Yet not even they can stop Jordan. So more corny narratives from the old days. Anyway, that is a PSA 9 Ultra Jordan Court Masters, and it looks to me like the primary culprit is maybe a little bit of edge wear. clear. And then again, maybe that's what that edge is supposed to look like. I don't think so, though. I'm guessing that's how I got a 9, because the front looks crystal clear, super clean. Corners and edges look razor sharp. It's got to be a back issue. I expected the card in hand. So that's card number 1. I've got it pulled up here in Card Ladder. Again, it's a Pop 46. This card's only been graded about 300 times, about 250 times. Actually, 250 times between PSA and BGS. The gem rate for PSA is a little bit lower than BGS. Going back to the value, this card had been a steady 1560, 1680, 1725, 1620. I think I picked it up for right at 1,500, which I'm perfectly fine with. And again, this is where I open Pandora's box to collecting PSA 9 cards. All right, next on the list. We've got, I think, 10 cards on today's mail list, and all of them are cool. This one especially is cool. This is a teeny tiny little munchkin of a card. It is absolutely adorable. It's the 1991 Skybox Canadian Minis Michael Jordan. It came from, it says basketball cello pack, but I think these came from like Frito-Lay's paper chip bags. Some people have told me when I posted it initially on YouTube. I wasn't sure, so I looked it up, and I'm going to read to you what Beckett's got on these little bitty guys. I can't stress enough to you how teeny tiny this little card is. But let's read what Beckett says. This set of 50 mini trading cards was a sports promotion in Canada involving Skybox and Hostess / Frito-Lay. The miniature card, the miniature cards measure 1 1/4 by 1 3/4 inches. One card was inserted into each specially marked bag of Hostess Frito-Lay products, including Doritos, Ruffles, Cheetos, Orions, which must be a Canadian thing, and Hostess. It was claimed that 9 out of every 10 bags contained a card, and in the event that the consumer purchased a bag without a card could be obtained without charge through a mail-in offer. It's strange. It's like, why wouldn't they just put one in every bag? Doesn't make sense. The promotion ran January 20th through March and was supported by colorful displays at more than 75,000 locations in Canada, as well as television ads. The card design was identical to the regular issue, with the exception that the backs feature bilingual information. And of course, they did mention the set is 50 deep, 50 different players, including the great Kevin Willis. I've, of course, got the Jordan. Let me just show you. This is the Jordan card here. I'm not sure why they call it card number 7, because my copy here, I don't see a card number anywhere on it. Well, there you go. On the back it says 7, but for some reason PSA chose not to put up here in the top right card number 7. I'm not sure. It also says bilingual information on the back. I don't see any information on the back or any language at all. It's just got points, rebounds, assists. I guess if it had height or weight or something like that, it might be printed in French language, but I don't see anything. I guess rebounds, assists. Oh, there you go. Field goal percentage, you can see, is theoretically bilingual, and same with blocks and steals. And so somebody who speaks French can kind of translate those for us. But how 80s is this picture on the back, by the way, with Jordan holding the camera in his like preposterously Air Jordan outfit on the back. But looking at the card itself, this is a direct replica of the Skybox Dunk card number 39 from 1991 Skybox. Of course, you guys know Skybox started chasing the dollar. They printed a million 1991 Skybox, all of them kind of white border cards of Michael Jordan. I can't remember. I think there's like 7 or 8 different cards in the base set. This is one of them. This is probably the most recognizable, and the front and back looks sort of the same, but again, it doesn't have the bilingual information on the back here. But that's what the little mini looks like, as you can see right there. So that's where they get that mini card. All right, next on the list, the Skybox Canadian Mini. Neat little card in PSA 10, and as I mentioned, that's a Pop 12 card, so not a lot of those flying around. The guy at the table that I bought that from, I think he actually had 3 of them. I probably should have bought all 3, but I think I just bought the one. The next card's a big card, so I think it's pushing a 5-figure card. This card's just shy of 10 grand. I think I assigned a trade value of $8,000. This was a monster deal with a gentleman that was at the One Team booth. Nice dude. He's messaged me a couple times since there, just kind of talking about that trade. I traded 2 2013 Prism Color Giannis Rookie Auto BGS 9.5s, the blue and the red, serial number to 99 and 49, I think. And I traded those 2 cards and I got this Fleer Team Leader, a couple of the other cards you're going to see in this mail day, and then $6,000 cash back. The primary card, the hub of the trade, and the reason I wanted to make the trade was because I was converting non-Jordan cards into Jordan cards, and that's exactly what I accomplished. He did really well. In fact, I saw him, I think we valued the Giannis cards at like 17 grand total between them, and he ended up, I think they were listed for like 10,000 and 20,000 or something at his table like the next day when I walked by. I was like, good luck, man. If you get that, you made me look like a fool. But either way, I got into Jordan, which was what I was trying to accomplish in the first place. And so this Fleer Team Leader is one of Jordan's earliest inserts from 1992 Fleer. It's card number 4. I have got it pulled up right here. It's only a pop 48. The card's actually only been graded about 1,200 times, a little over 1,200 times, which I thought it would have been graded a lot more. But look at the gem rate. Beckett, 0.82%. There's only 4 BGS 9.5s. And PSA, there's only 48 out of 744 graded, so a 6% gem rate. So one of those single-digit gem rates. This is what the card's done over the last 2 years. Only 7 sales. So 7 sales in 24 months. The last 3 sales have been trending upward. Actually, the last 4 sales have been trending upward. 3360, 50, basically 6,000, 6,500, 7,000. I think I had a trade value of right at 8,000 on this card. I was very aggressive on this card. Again, it was a chance to get out of non-Jordan stuff into Jordan stuff and into one of Jordan's early paper inserts, which I really, really like, especially this one because it's so condition sensitive. So PSA 10s are just tough to come by. And so that was the big pickup in that trade. There were a couple of other cards in that trade as well. Next on the list, 1996 Maximum Metal. I got tons of comments when I posted this card. I think this one's just kind of under the radar. Everybody remembers the 1995 Maximum Metal, and I've got that one as well. Look, this is the 95. The 95 and the 96 could not be more different, right? They don't look the same. One's super bright, vibrant red. One's sort of a kind of a dull, metallic, like warehouse like motif in the back, and you can see everything's kind of silver, rust, gold, dark colors, and it is absolutely certainly die cut in the shape of a basketball at the top and the rim, whereas the 1996 Maximum Metal is red. It does have that like kind of riveted metallic basketball in the background, but everything else is like bright red, and then of course Jordan's in the foreground in the white uniform. So cool looking card right here. The PSA 10 copy pairs very nicely with my 1995 Maximum Metal copy. I can put that pairing to bed. I also have a couple of, actually I think I have 3 PSA 8 Maximum Metals from 1995. I need to pick up the little baby PSA 8 96 Maximum Metal, and then I'll have my PSA 8, PSA 10, high end, low end pairing complete. I don't remember if I looked it up. There it is. Pop 25. There's just not a lot of these out there, fellas. It's not the rarest card in the world, but there's only 25 PSA 10s. The last 2 sales have been trending upward, so it went from 49.20 to 58.77 to 6,200. I vividly remember where I picked this card up. I was walking back to the hotel after a private dinner, and it was about 12:30 in the morning. And when I walked into the Hyatt, I stayed in the Hyatt right across from the National Convention Center. And when I walked into the lobby, there was buku people all over having a trade night. It's just had migrated into the Hyatt lobby. And I walked over, and I always ask this question, and it's usually a bunch of freaking Baker Mayfields or, Brock Purdy's. But I was like, has anybody got any Jordans? And sure enough, there was a Jordan collector there, and he had this Maximum Metal out. I was supposed to buy this exact PSA, not this exact, but another PSA 10 the next morning from the great Waldorf Stories, Grant Slayton, at the show. I had agreed to buy it from him for $6,000. This gentleman who was at the trade night just had about 20 cards out, and this was one of the cards, and he had it available for $5,500. And so I did a deal, I think that's right, about $5,500. So I ended up doing a deal with him, which, as you can see, is pretty good net price for me for a Pop 25 Jordan card. I did message Grant and say, hey, Grant, I just wanted to let you know I'm about to pick this one up. Is that okay? He's like, yeah, no worries at all. I'm sure he's not going to have a problem moving the other copy, his PSA 10 copy, for $6,000, which is what his asking price was, which was also quite fair. So big pickup there. Really, really excited about that. You guys know I love Metal Universe, and then the precursor to Metal Universe, of course, is the Metal. So big pickup there. Super happy about that. Another monster pickup. So this is a card that my good friend Brad Bodott, NOLA Collects. Of course, it's Jordan refractor front, Stackhouse refractor back, dual side refractor. This is the 1996 Stadium Club Class Ax refractor, not the atomic, but the refractor. It's a PSA 10, which is tough to come by. Not a lot of greening on this card. I like the color of this card. It looked really good in hand. Brad located this card for me at the Dallas Card Show the weekend before the National and messaged me and said, hey, this guy's selling this card. Are you interested? I said, hell yes, I'm interested. Very interested. What is he asking? I said, here, tell him I'll pay, 14. I think I said, tell him I'll pay $1,500 for this one. Brad got the deal done for $1,450 for this PSA 10 refractor. I said, hell yes. Book it, put it down. I'll PayPal you right now. And I PayPal Brad $1,500 as a $50 tip finder's fee. Brad held the card until we met in the airport in New Orleans on the way up to the National show the next weekend. I gave him $1,500 cash. He handed me the card. I added it to my collection, and that's the story behind this card. A lot of Class Ax going on at the National for some reason. I ran into Class Ax Atomics, Class Ax Refractor. There's been a lot of Class Ax Refractor and base and Atomics kind of flowing through my collection lately for whatever reason. It's just fate would have it that way. Next one's just a really cool. I knew Power Decks existed. I knew they're a little bit different. It's sort of not perfectly in the shape of a compact disc, but you get the idea. That's why it's called Power Deck. It is almost like a CD, which evokes nothing but late 90s memories. This is from 1999, Upper Deck. It's the Power Deck PD1, and it's in a BGS 9.5. If you look at the back of it, obviously it looks like a CD. That was kind of the point, right? But on the front, it's cool. It's almost like SPX combined with a CD, and that's what I see when I see this card. So was happy to pick that one up. Didn't have it in my collection. Thought it was a really cool looking card. Did not pay very much money for this card. So good pickup at the National. This card got a lot of comments as well. I didn't think much of it when I picked it up. It's only about a $400, $500 card, but it's the 1995 SP All-Stars Gold. It's a mixed gem with a 9 for the corners and a 10 for centering. The top die cut, kind of gold foil portion is kind of susceptible to chipping, and that's kind of why, it's tough. Those were some of my favorite All-Star Game uniforms in history right there. But this is from 95. It is die cut. It is a big time card. It is the gold parallel, which makes it a little bit more rare. You're going to see us talk about this on Tier 4, the Michael Jordan Hierarchy Project, if you haven't seen it already. And the same can be said for almost every card that I've talked about on this mail day, except for the, I don't think the Skybox Canadian Minis made it, because I don't think technically it fell within the criteria of the Hierarchy Project. But that's that card. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to show you. There's the Stadium Club Class Ax Refractors. I picked it up for $1,500. The last few sales, $1,700, $1,275, $1,700, $1,750, $1,450, $1,225. So I felt like I got a pretty good price, pretty much right on the number, maybe a little bit of a discount, actually. Thank you, Brad. NOLA Collects. Go follow him on Instagram if you haven't. The next one I picked up at the National is the, and I'm splitting this in half. So mail day number 100 and mail day 101 is all cards from the National, kind of split in half. I think there's 10 in this one tonight, and then there's going to be 9 tomorrow on mail day number 101. So make sure you hit the bell icon so you get notified when that one drops on Sunday. Of course, it's going to be 10:30 a.m. Central Time, just to give you a heads up. This is the 1995 EXL No Boundaries, and it's the BGS 9.5 copy. It's a Min Gem. You guys know how much I love the Min Gem grades, because it means I can buy more, yet I still get that qualifying tab that it is a Gem Mint card. This is the No Boundaries. I can't remember if I looked it up. By the way, there's the SP Gold, 484, 510, 410, 554, 450. So like I said, 450, 550, somewhere in that range. This is the No Boundaries, and this is what it looks like recently. Not the rarest card in the world, but you just don't see that many of them out there. And the BGS 9.5 has sold for $320, $404, $285, $300, $324, $223, $306. I think I was around $350 on this card, which would have put me right between the last two comps, about right where I belong. I was happy to pay whatever comps were. I had cash and I was ready to spend it, and that's what happened at the National. The back's a little different. Is there a bigger star in the NBA universe? Certainly there's no one more confident with the ball when the game is tight, which is bad news for anyone caught trying to stop Michael's unlimited game. Next, we're getting towards the end. A 97 Bowman's Best Refractor Mixed Gem. This one has an NBA sticker on it. I didn't have, again, I don't go out of my way to seek out cards with NBA stickers, but really like this card. I've started to kind of add refractors and atomic refractors into my collection. You guys know I'm usually inserts over parallels when it comes to prioritizing. So, but I've recently started to tack on some of those refractors. You've seen it in this one. You've seen a couple of refractors in this video. video. You'll see a couple in tomorrow's video. You'll see a couple in the next couple of weeks. And so this is just one of the many Bowman's Best Refractors. You will also see this card in the Michael Jordan Hierarchy Project, just like you'll see the No Boundaries, just like you'll see the card before it, just like you'll see the card before it. But this BGS 9.5 mixed gem with a Mike Baker sticker. I wish I could remember what I paid for this. I just cannot remember. I'd be guessing, but I think I was around the 800 to 850 mark if I had to guess. And then the last card on the list is the biggest card, and this is the one I told you to stay tuned. So a little bit bigger than the Team Leaders PSA 10, probably. It is the 1998 Skybox Molten Metal Fusion. Of course, you guys know there's a Molten Metal Fusion Titanium version, which is serial numbered to 40. That's a huge card. This is just the Molten Metal Fusion. It is serial numbered to 250. If you look up here in the top right, you can see it is card number 129 of 250 in that silver stamping. It is very much reminds me of the Platinum Portraits. Again, this is, like I said, I crossed that threshold. I'm okay picking up certain bigger cards in BGS 9 and PSA 9 grades and even BGS 8.5 grades. This is another small step in that direction of me becoming less of a grade snob. And I like the fact that the silver matches the silver. So the silver BGS 9 label matches the silver nature of the card, front and back. A lot of this reminds me of the Platinum Portraits from Metal Universe 1997. This is card number 41 in the set. It is the subs are pretty good. You know, the centering is really good. The card looked really clean to me. This was a deal that I got done with a gentleman that I met in the hobby from Indie B-Ball Card Exchange, and his name was Andy, and we have a lot in common. He's like a younger, better looking version of me, but we got to chatting, and I spent a lot of time at his table. And in fact, I think I went back to his table maybe 2 or 3 times, not because he was young and good looking, but because he had a lot of Jordan cards, right? And so he had actually even brought his Jordan collection, and he just happened to have this duplicate. He had 2 of these, so we got a deal done, dollar for dollar. I mean, right on the number. I had a Jordan Century Legends autograph, BGS 9.5, beautiful on-card auto. He said it was one of the best looking autos on that particular card he'd ever seen. It was worth almost exactly $9,500, $10,000. I think this card's worth almost exactly $9,500, $10,000. Here's the chart. It's a pop 39. There's been about a little over 100, 104 ever graded. It's trending way downward, and this is what I can't figure out because it's serial number to 250. It's a tier 2, tier 3 card. I can't remember on the Hierarchy Project where we put this bad boy, but it's a very meaningful Jordan card. Anytime you get a serial numbered card from a big time product in the 90s and it's Jordan on the front of it, it's a pretty important card. 250 is not a huge number. Over the last 2 years, this card's dropped from $25,000 to $10,800. I'm pretty sure we put a price tag on this for right at $10,000, $10,500, and we did one of those very rare card for card exchanges, and it just got done. So I was happy to pick this card up on the downswing. I would be astonished if this card drops into the single digits, if it drops into the 4 sorry, not single digits, but below 10,000, if it drops into the 4-digit area. As you can see, the PSA 10 just never sells. It's a Sasquatch. It's a pop 6. The BGS 9.5 is a $25,000 card, dropped from 40,000 down to 25,000 just a couple months ago. So to pick this up for about 40% of that price in a BGS 9, I was pretty dang happy to do it, to be quite honest with you. The PSA 9 is worth twice as much as the trade value that I got on the BGS 9. So just happy for me. The card looks to be trending downward for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm fine. I'm in it for the long haul. Cajun Eternity on that one for sure, as you guys know. So back to the slideshow. We got the Court Masters. Again, every one of these cards matters. Hierarchy Project card, Hierarchy Project, 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 Hierarchy Project. Every single one of these except for the Canadian Mini. Many of them in gem condition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in gem condition and then 2 in mint condition. So you guys know how I collect. You guys know what I look to do. That's just a halfway glimpse of what I did at the National. The next mail day, number 101, will come out tomorrow on Sunday, August, whatever that is, second Sunday of August. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that one as well. And then you'll have a better idea of exactly what I did at the National. I went into the show trying to pick up an absolute tier 1 monster grail. It didn't work out, so I picked picked up a bunch of other just cards that make me happy, to be honest with you. I ended up buying about 20 cards instead of buying about 1 or 2. And so it made the National fun, man. I got to see about 70% of the tables. I did not get around to see all of the tables, unfortunately. And I was there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I still did not get around to see all of the tables. So, but that's it. That's half of my National. Second half is coming up tomorrow. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell icon to get notifications of when new videos on my channel drop. I had a lot of Jordan stuff lately. Tomorrow's mail day is going to be primarily Jordan stuff as well. I promise you I've got some more cool stuff in the queue. In fact, we're about to start talking more about the actual sport of basketball, not necessarily basketball cards. So stay tuned for that. Some really fun, some interesting stuff, some outside the box stuff with a special guest who's a frequent guest on the channel. So lots of great stuff coming up, but we're still grinding through the Hierarchy project. It's going to take us all the way through the month of August. I'm just telling you, when all guests are included and all tiers are finished up, it's going to take us through August. A lot of you guys are asking questions about the Hierarchy project posters. I'm guessing those are going to be done somewhere in the 30 to 45 day range. I've got to figure out the best way for me to disseminate those posters throughout the country. I'm getting 1,000 of them made. I can always go back and print more, but it's going to cost me it's going to be a shade over $3,000 with all the design fees and then the materials and then the printing and whatever, all that stuff cost me a little over $3,000. And then I'd like to get those posters out to anybody and everybody that wants one, just in exchange for the shipping costs. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to have to put them in tubes or whatever. I don't want to fold them, right? Because I think these are going to be the kind of things you guys are going to want to get these. You're going to want to laminate these, and then maybe you can chart it and use it as an aid, as a guide to kind of not tell you what to collect, but kind of give you a nice pictorial image of what is out there and available and possible in the Jordan world. And again, it's not a complete snapshot of every Jordan card in the world. You guys know there's rules and criteria. So stay tuned for that. It's coming. But everybody who's messaging me, relax, chill. I promise I'm going to get those posters done. It's going to be about 30 to 45 days. I'm guessing mid-September, so we can pump the jets a little bit. Thank you guys for watching the mail day. Thank you guys for always watching the channel. You could watch anything on YouTube, and you choose to watch me. We're in this thing together. We're collecting together. We're in the hobby together. I've probably about as optimistic right now about the hobby as I've ever been in my life. I am having so much fun making content, doing videos, talking about cards, sharing cards with my friend, learning from my friends, learning from other people, learning from you guys with the comments on the Hierarchy project is incredible. Some of you guys are a wealth of knowledge, and you're chipping in, and that's kind of what I wanted those videos to be about. I wanted all of us to learn together and just share with the world some of the potential Jordan cards that are out there, right? So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby. Hope you have a great weekend, and peace.